Alright, so the first thing we're going to do in disassembling this heater box is pull the fan unit, which has 5 screws. We have our new fan unit right here. This is the part number I got. So we'll go ahead and get that out of there real quick. Alright, I had blown this out before bringing it in, and as you can tell there's still a bunch of crud in there. But for this it came out, just the 5 screws. Now we need to unbolt it from the housing, and we can swap the fan cage onto the new motor. But before swapping that over, what we're going to do is finish taking this housing apart. We have, I don't know, just like about 10 screws or so we need to remove. So we'll get that out. That way we can get the heater core out. And once we have that all disassembled, I can take this and clean out whatever's still on the inside. So the 5 motor bolts and this one were 5/16. The rest of these are smaller than. And the remaining ones are 1/4. I don't know, this Jeep seems to be a mix of metric and standard. So the remaining ones I have to pull out are all 1/4. We're going to go ahead and get those out. And just like that, all of the other screws, the 1/4 inch, are undone. Now all I got to do is break the seal. It's between the 2 housings, so I can pull it apart. It's kind of glued together with a sticky seal, so I'll have to work on getting that out real quick. Alright, so as you can see, we got a gap there. I took just a folding pocket knife and slid it along the edge. This sealant that they had in here is pretty crusty, so not as sticky as it could have been. I did a Corvette airbox a while back, and the stuff was so glued on, it was like half a day's job just to get everything unstuck. But as you can see, it's off, so I'm gonna go ahead and lift it off and see what the heater core looks like. Alright, well, you can definitely see where it was leaking. Oof, that is dirty. I ordered some new rubber seal for these flappers. It's supposed to come in tomorrow. So I'll put some new sealant on there just to make that a little nicer. Oops. Something just set my car alarm off. So I'm going to say that this was leaking. It's still full of debris, so I'm going to clean this out later. I'm going to clean this door off real good. But hey, that's I believe these are brass, so that's some money to go to the scrap metal guy. Alright, I'll be back after I've cleaned this all up. Okay, there's the old motor. Took the nut off and it's already on the new one. But yeah, well, I guess I should have transferred that over as well. Guess I'll have to take it back apart. I didn't see that on there. But yeah, it goes right on, no big deal. And I'll put this clip back where it goes, just in case it's important. Alright, well, it's gonna rain here pretty quick, so I've been working on this inside. It's a little colder today, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna blow it out, and then I'm going to get all of this out of here the best I can so that I can clean it all up. But yeah, alright, and then I'll start working on putting it back together. Maybe I can clean up some of this too. It's some of the sticky. It doesn't really need to be, but let's get all the dirt and crap out of here first. Alright, so looks a lot cleaner. That goes in there. So this had like foam on both sides of it. This had foam on the ends on both sides and there. So what I used was some carburetor cleaner. I sprayed the foam down and it peeled right off on these. Here it was a little bit more stuck, so I had used the carburetor cleaner and a razor blade to scrape all the foam off. So that's cleaned up. And what I ordered for the other part is some like low density black rubbery foam, and I'm just going to use that to cover these up. Mostly it just needs it on the seal part where it's going to go there to there, so I really only need it on the end. I don't know why they had big pieces on both sides, but it just collected a lot of dust and crap. So the box is now cleaned out. It's still a little damp from the carburetor cleaner that I sprayed out everywhere, but at least it looks decent. So I'm going to go back inside because it is just about ready to start raining. So while I'm waiting for parts, I will finish putting the motor together, the blower motor together. Something I did notice, and I'll show you here in a second. Either you spend a lot of money and get a factory replacement one, or you do like I did and spend like $30 and get a aftermarket replacement. It doesn't come with a end on the wire, and the motor housing's a little different, and the routing of the wires is a little different. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to route the wires once I have it assembled, and then as I'm putting it into the Jeep. So we'll have to figure that out. Okay, so there are some subtle differences in these motors. The first one is the height of this shoulder. On the factory one, it is right down towards the bottom, and here we've got ½ inch almost, and I'd say ½ inch on this side. So that's one change. So you need to make sure that your fan, when you reassemble it, that's not rubbing inside of the housing. If it is, you have to make some adjustments somewhere. The other big difference is the wire on this housing comes out at the back of the motor, and the wire on this housing comes out somewhere here. That's two. And then the other, of course, is there's no ends on that wire, so you either have to de-pin this one, which may be an option, or the other would be to cut the wire and then fuse it into that wire. So and I looked at all the ones that were available at Rock Auto and different parts places. They are all this style. I guess this is a universal replacement. The only Jeep ones I found that look like that were from the Jeep site, and they were vastly different in price. I paid $30 for this one. On average, a factory replacement that I saw was about $155. So yeah, you're just gonna have to figure out what works the best for you. Basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and assemble this motor, and then once I start putting it back together, because the motor goes in last, I can test fit, figure out where the harness needs to go. I might need to drill a new hole somewhere to have the wires pass through. So that will be one of the last things I do. But right now I could start putting it back together with the new heater core and get at least it all bolted together, and then this would be the final thing. But I am waiting for those gaskets to come in. So I just noticed these differences as I was kind of lining things up, and I said, wait a second. So just be advised, you might have to modify to get the replacement parts put in. Alright, so I completely reassembled the stock motor, and I measured the distance between the plate and the bottom of the wheel and the plate in the top of the wheel. And I got a 1/4 at the bottom and 7.5 at the top, and that is exactly, gotta make sure you're using the right tool, right side of the ruler, and that's exactly what we have, is 7.5. So the height and everything on this is fine. So that only leaves the plug is the issue. So we'll just have to figure out what we're going to do there. But as you can see, there is a kink right here in the factory plug. That's where it is pinched with the cover of the airbox. So we have to make sure that we get everything in line. Again, I need to measure that line and see how much. There came with no instructions, so it's basically a figure it out yourself part. All right, so at least that part's covered. I will, once I put it in the box, spin it by hand to make sure that it's not rubbing, because that would suck, because it would destroy the plastic wheel. But yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so I put some foam stripping around the edges where I blew all this old crappy foam out of there this morning. Got some here, got some here, got some on that door as well. So that's going to hopefully keep them from rattling. Now I'm going to put the heater core in, and then we'll put the cover back on. All right, so the tricky part is getting the flappers to line up. So this one and this one, I don't know if there's supposed to be something in there. Apparently mine was missing. But this one here, you can reach in and kind of line it up and go from there. And then the other thing is lining it up. You'll have to move your new heater core around a little bit to get that screw to line up, and that one up there. All right, so now it's time to put the screws in. All right, so got all the screws in. Guess I was missing one. Didn't really pay attention. So this screw and this screw are the ones that hold the heater core in place so it doesn't rattle. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough room. I might have to bend that just a little bit to get the two hoses through there. Got all of our screws back in for this. This clip, I don't know if you can see that line right there, but this is where the old power came through the bracket right here and went there. And it looks like, because these are raised about ½ inch, I should be able to find a spot, maybe make a little notch in the firewall. I'll put the casing all the way up to here, and then make a notch in the firewall, and then I should be able to lay that down in there. Maybe throw a zip tie in there just to keep it flat. So next video we'll be trying to reinstall this. I'm going to look and see if I have some sort of grommet that I can put in here. Maybe make that line up so it's square. I didn't see anything fall out. I don't remember. I looked at my other photos of this. I didn't see any pictures of that being there, so not really sure. Maybe it was never there. Maybe it was falling out when somebody else took this box out. But all right, thanks for watching.